Well, good morning, friends. Still in the bathrobe. As you may know from my videos, I like to make soup on a Saturday morning when I'm still in my bathrobe. So what we are going to do today, it's a crisp fall day. It just seems like a great weekend to have a big pot of chicken noodle soup. You all have asked me to share recipes using my homegrown chickens that we processed this summer. This is actually from our first batch. And with this batch, I ended up I had trouble. There you go. Just the truth of the matter. Our birds were really big. They were like 9-pound birds. I had trouble juggling the big birds and the shrink wrap bags that I had purchased. So I ended up at the end of the day breaking them down and freezing parts. So I just went down to the freezer, and these are some of the parts that I got. What I'm going to do is we're going to boil these for about an hour or so in a big pot of water to make our broth and to get our chicken cooked. So this is actually a HG, homegrown chicken breast. That's from July. This is some chicken legs and thighs bone in. And then this is the back and neck and such pieces that I'm also going to boil up with that, which makes a great broth, great bone broth. And this won't be a true bone broth because I'm not going to let it cook for a long time or put it in the pressure cooker or anything, but it'll be great to boil for a while. And yeah, so let's make a big pot of fall chicken noodle soup. So a lot of these scraps that I'm getting from this, such as peeling carrots, and when I do the celery here in a minute, is great items that I could use for a vegetable broth later when I'm doing another soup. However, because I have, a boatload of poultry and other critters, I'm going to put this in our chicken bowl for this afternoon, but that's an idea for you. If you go to do fresh things for your soup, you can save your peelings later for your vegetable broth. Okay, so I pulled a couple just dead leaves off my celery. I'm just going to chop off the very end for my animal bowl and this very end for my animal bowl, and the rest of it, leaves and all, we will use in this large family fall chicken noodle soup. Alrighty, so here's my big pile of celery, and what I have done, I have this bowl here. I have a whole onion at the bottom of it that I already diced up, and then the carrots. It was about 2 pounds or so of carrots, and then this thing of celery. Here's everything all chopped up, and now it's going to sit there and wait and like it. And then here is half a cup of garlic. I'm just going to toss this in with the other veggies, and we'll mix this up, and we'll be using this in our chicken noodle soup. Okay, so it's not a pretty process where we are right now. Here's the honest state of my pot after boiling a very long time. So I have, with my little slotted spoon there, pulled out the chicken and the bones and all I could get. I'm going to actually drain this broth into another pot. I'll analyze then. I'm thinking I will rinse this pot out and then put everything back in here, but this is just how I'm wrangling it right now. So this IKEA pot, just my colanders over it, is it's a pretty big one. So anyway, I'm going to rinse out my bigger pot and put it all back in there. So this is the homegrown chicken that's going in our big pot of soup, and then this is other little bits of meat and a lot of bones that I'm going to add, and we will do some bone broth. The bone broth will not be for this soup, but it will be for other upcoming meals. Okay friends, so just poured in our big stainless steel bowl of all those vegetables that we chopped earlier. A whole onion, about 2 pounds of carrots, whole big thing of celery, and then we have our homemade broth that we've made, and then all that chicken that we cook. So we're going to get this cooking. We'll also add in all of our seasonings. We're going to put in some thyme, some basil. Benjamin is singing to us in the background. Some thyme, some basil, crushed rosemary, couple bay leaves, a little bit of parsley, some salt. I'm going to find my pepper, and then I'm going to do my noodles probably in a separate pot and add those in last. You can also, depending on your cook time and everything, add your noodles in to your big stock pot as well. I'm just not doing that. So I'm going to do a teaspoon each of the thyme, the basil, and the crushed rosemary. And then I'll just sprinkle in some parsley and throw in a couple. Our teaspoon of thyme going in. Our teaspoon of basil. Here is our teaspoon of rosemary. A couple bay leaves. And then based on your family's personal preference, you'll want to sprinkle in some salt and some pepper. I'm using some sea salt. Now we will stir it all up. Okay, so we've been watching an episode of Little House on the Prairie, but I did the noodles. I added those in. I removed the soup from the heat. It's been out here for about 15 minutes or so. We finished up our show. Now I'm going to serve this up. Thank you guys for enduring watching me in my bathrobe, I don't care, making that freestyle homegrown chicken noodle soup this weekend for the family. I like taking days like that where I don't brush my hair and do all of those things, but I still want to cook, and if I'm cooking, I'm filming it for you most likely. So anyway, I will have the recipe for this homegrown homemade chicken noodle soup for you down in the description below, and I will see you real soon with another brand new video. Bye bye.